We've managed millions of dollars in ad spend for contractors across the United States. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact lessons that we've learned, along with some very specific patterns that we've picked up along the way. And a lot of these blue collar contracting businesses, land management businesses that we've partnered up with along the way. This should be a pretty value-packed video here today. We're going to be getting into some technical stuff, and we're going to be getting into this video might get a little philosophical, so fair warning. So it's definitely going to be a good one though. So buckle up. This one's going to be a fun one. So after spending and managing still millions of dollars in contractor ad spend, the biggest lesson and the biggest takeaway of all of it is that marketing is not an expense. It's quite literally the heart, soul, and engine of these businesses that we work with. A lot of people have come to us and haven't had like any type of marketing established at all. They were in the referral trap, relying on word of mouth, waiting for people to maybe stumble across their website if they even had a website, but there's no predictable acquisition systems really built out in those businesses. Once we kind of came in and like set up shop and did what we're best at, we quickly noticed that these systems like took over the majority of the business and the majority of the opportunities coming into the business, like accounting for the majority of the revenue coming into the business very quickly. And it became very scalable as well. So a lot of people, they think that, marketing, like it's an expense, like spending money on ads is an expense. It's really not. It's really like like I said, it's the engine of the entire business in the first place. It's kind of what keeps the whole thing going. And a lot of people too, common mistake, when times do get tough, the first thing that contractors cut or want to cut is the marketing budget, right? What's actually been giving them all of the work and keeping them busy for so long. Now, I'll dive into a couple of examples that I'll bring up a couple of client examples, and I'm not going to name drop anybody just so I can go into more detail on the situations without really giving too much away, just out of respect for those people. Quick client story. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and they booked a call with myself and my co-founder, and we hopped on a call with them. Kind of, I guess things were slowing down or whatever. Something wasn't working that we were completely unaware. On our end, we were seeing a great cost per lead, a great conversion to appointment, a great appointment cost, tons of bids coming through. It was looking good. We were booking this guy like a ton of appointments. And basically we get on the call and we're like, yeah, we are pretty close to going out of business. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this has been obviously we've been partnered with this person for a while, and this is the first time that I had heard any of this, right? So I was completely shocked. I was not anticipating this is where this conversation was going to go. But nevertheless, we start to get into it, and he's like, yeah, money's super tight right now. I just don't really have the budget anymore to keep all the marketing going. I'm like, this has been quite literally the machine that has been pumping these appointments and these deals from the last I heard into your business and all this cash collected. What's going on? And for this client too, we had run a hiring campaign. We had run, I think it was a few week long staffing campaign because this dude was slammed. Needed new operators. CDLs, drivers, he basically needed everything, which was a great thing, great place to be. He was in a really good spot, obviously well before we have this conversation. And come to find out, he had spent $300,000 on a new excavator. And I was like, well, why did you buy the $300,000 excavator without having the work for it, right? And basically what he told me was, he was like, oh, well, things were looking good. It was looking promising, at the time. It was, I thought I was going to have the work for it. And this is not the first time I've seen this happen either, where somebody quite literally outspends themselves and puts themselves into a situation where they're even considering about cutting their marketing off and cutting their acquisition systems off, where, like I said, have been the fuel for this business, right? To the point that, again, we were running hiring campaigns, starting to really get aggressive, on the marketing side, getting into Google ads, a whole bunch of other stuff was happening with this specific client here. But basically, it outspent himself and spent himself into a position where he gets on a call with us, and I had no idea. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because like I'm honestly still a little shocked I even had to have this conversation. But I guess it is what it is. We had no idea the guy just completely had like outspent himself and put himself in a really tough situation. And like I said, it's not the first time that I've seen that either. We had another client too that again, like I won't dive into too much of it, but I'll give you the overview of what happened and how somebody else outspent themselves. We were working with this person for I think 4 months or something like that, and we pushed 150K of new cash into the door, which pretty solid considering where the guy was at before he started up with us. It was definitely a record revenue pace that business was on. And in the 4th month, at the end of the 4th month, buys a new, I think it was an excavator or a skid steer, or it might have been both, but then buys a shop and like gets all the concrete like redone like at the shop, right? Basically like outspending himself and putting himself into a position where it was like, he just came to us like 1 month, I think it was like the next month after that, and he was like, or towards the end of like the 5th month or something like that, and he's just like, yeah, I don't have the money for, I can't keep paying like the ad spend, like I'm like completely like out of money right now, I'm in a pretty tough spot. But again, like just totally outspent himself, like got a bit of money and then totally outspend himself, right? Where you just let the marketing like do its thing. Like you're not in a position where you need, like just stack the cash and like smart scale, right? Just keep smart scaling. And obviously with all of our clients, like we're very transparent and we want to have like a very open line of communication with everybody that we work with. We really encourage that. And everybody sees that from the onboarding process. Just how we communicate with everybody, our internal communication system. We want to have full access to your team, and obviously, vice versa, right? So anything that you need, we can kind of go over and discuss. And these guys, we were just in the dark. We had no idea any of this stuff was happening. Otherwise, we probably would have advised against it. But they just outspent themselves, right? And they, like the point I'm trying to get to is that when they did, and when people get into a situation like this, where maybe times are a little bit tough or business has slowed down, the first thing that they want to get rid of is their marketing. The first thing. The thing that for the majority of the time actually keeps them busy and keeps cash coming into the business, and they actually have a scalable system in place. Whether they're working with us or not, doing it on their own or with somebody else, it doesn't matter, but it's always the first thing they want to cut is the marketing, and they see it as an expense, where it's just the total opposite. It's the engine. It's what's actually keeping you busy. And if you have the systems in place that are tracking where all of your work is coming from, and if you have like a good SEO optimized website and you're running paid ads and you're running Google ads, or you're doing database reactivations, or you're running TikTok ads, YouTube ads, whatever, and you're getting all of this overflow traffic. So maybe somebody sees like your Facebook ad, doesn't opt in on your Facebook ad, but then they go to Google, find your website, and then opt in on your website, or just call the number that's listed on the website. Like there's no way to like really like track that back. So like that's where a lot of times people might be like, oh, like I closed like all these jobs, but it didn't come from the marketing, when in fact it was just overflow from the marketing, right? And there are some things that you can do obviously to figure out where exactly that person originated from, with like installing like tracking numbers like on your website and everything, or like a tracking number like on your Facebook page, Instagram page, whatever. Like there's things that you can do to like track that back. But then these businesses, like what they'll see is like they'll cut their marketing expense, and then like 2 months, it's kind of like a whiplash effect, where once they cut it off, it takes a little bit, but then like bang, like then they like a couple months down the line or whatever, however long it is, a few weeks, couple months, whatever. That's where they start to really feel the impact of cutting off their marketing. And it's the complete opposite at the beginning too, obviously. It's like a lot of people, like, they don't have any type of digital marketing going, and they start it, and then it goes, a month goes by, 2 months goes by, and then bam, then like all of like the results actually start to really flow in and like seriously start to hit them. Like those marketing efforts have then caught up with themselves, and they actually start to see it materializing in front of them, right? Which is another important way to kind of look at this as well. So again, I've just ranted about that for a while, but really, really important that you don't see the marketing as an expense. You need to see it as a scalable vehicle, the engine of your business that keeps pushing you forward and keeps getting you in front of new people and a colder audience and new eyeballs and somebody else who didn't know who you were before they saw your last ad, right? That's where the scalability is going to start, and you're going to start to see some serious traction with the opportunities coming into your business. If you think your business is at a point where you're aggressively ready to take on more work and looking to efficiently scale your business and take things to the next level, you might want to check out what Dirt to Dollars actually does. And what we do is we run full-blown marketing systems, anything that you can think of, digital marketing related. We want to build that entire digital acquisition web around your business so you never have to go through another slow season again or worry about where that next opportunity is going to come from. So everything from Facebook ads to Google ads to websites to SEO campaigns, you name it, we do it. Database reactivations, we do everything. We do it all to keep every area of your business busy and give you the opportunities needed to succeed and scale your business. Like I said, as with the title of this video, we have spent millions of dollars in ad spend. So we've battle tested strategies. We know what works. We're really good at scaling them. So if you want to see if we'd be able to help your business out even in the first place, I dropped a link down in the description of this video. You can go to that and you can book a call with our team, be a quick 15-minute phone call, probably with Brendan, and we'll determine whether or not we can even help you out in the first place. So if you want, links in the description, but back to the video. So another lesson that we learned is that the surprise winner is still Facebook and Instagram for running paid ads and running scalable campaigns. A lot of people think, you're probably watching this right now and you're like, oh, I only want to deal with like commercial work, or I only want jobs like over like a certain size, or whatever, or Facebook's only good for small residential projects, when it's just not the case at all. It's just it's almost like the complete opposite. Yes, you might be able to track more sophisticated buyers and higher ticket buyers to Google, to opting in on your website, but the chance that you see them and their interest gets sparked with your business and their brand first on Facebook and Instagram is high, and it's likely. Or if they don't actually opt in through your website or whatever it is, like organically on Google when they go and like look you up, and they don't opt in with you there, or even if they do opt in with you there, the next time that they open Facebook and Instagram, boom, now they're getting hit and retargeted with all of your ads, right? When you actually are tracking that data correctly and running your campaigns to website traffic, people that found you on Google, it's like literally this web. It's this web that just like entangles anybody that comes anywhere near it, right? And it's good. And it's good for actually pushing more sophisticated buyers along in the sales process, right? So a lot of people think that Facebook's like not good or Instagram's like not good or whatever, when it's like the complete opposite. We have literally seen our clients close jobs from there. I think one of the biggest ones was like 1.25. It was in between 1.25 and 1.5 million from, it was literally a Facebook ad that the person had opted in from. Huge development group. Our client obviously ended up winning the bid, but buyers are there. The buyers are there, and then everything in between. Like, yes, like there's the $5,000 like small jobs that are like in and out, boom, done one day, to 10K jobs, 20K jobs that might be like a week and a half, to everything in between. I mean, we've seen residential jobs come in off of Facebook and Instagram that have been 300, 400 grand in a lot of cases. So it's pretty incredible. And I think it does come as a surprise to a lot of people that Facebook and Instagram is so powerful, and it's actually really underrated in my opinion. Now we love starting people off on Facebook and Instagram. It's like one of the first acquisition sources that we look to kind of dial in first and scale it before like tapping into a bunch of other ones at the same time. Again, it kind of depends on where that business is at, whoever we're partnering up with. But yeah, I mean, 100%. The surprise winner is Meta. Another lesson that we learned is that the winning ad creative is typically very like human centric, right? So something that we've seen, if like our clients who actually get in the ads themselves, like a lot of people, like they're not comfortable like getting on camera or like actually speaking like to a camera or whatever. I mean, we've had clients even just like take a picture, right, of themselves like with their guys like in front of their equipment on like a job site or something, and like, you know, we'll lock that thing up into the campaign and start running it. And ads like that do very well. if you can get stuff of you like with like a happy client or something, like shaking their hand or something like that in front of their on their property or whatever, after the job's done in front of their house, whatever the case is, and then you can run that as an ad, those do really well. So like basically what I'm trying to get at is like drone shots, time lapse videos, before and after videos, before and after pictures, pictures of completed projects. All of that stuff works really well. But when you can actually throw into the mix some human-centric stuff with like you actually in the ad yourself, and even use that on like a retargeting ad set, right? Or a retargeting campaign where you can start hitting people that have been maybe engaging with your business for a while. They've been seeing your ads pop up in their feed for a while. They're still kind of on the fence on whether or not they want to do it. And then that like just little bit of like humanness, right, that they see that they can get retargeted with via paid ads is what will push people over the edge a lot of the times too. We've seen that time and time again. So that's another important lesson that we learned. So again, there's a lot of different lessons that I could probably dive into, but this one is probably the most important that a lot of people kind of leave out, and that your sales skills will seriously determine your ROI. Your marketing can be dialed, buttoned up to a T, whole funnel is golden, conversion rates are golden, like everything, the costs beautiful. But if you can't sell and you can't close deals, you're going to have a really tough go at it. And your ROI is going to look pretty bad if you can't actually sell the project. Now, a lot of people say to me, and I've had a lot of people say to me in the past, like, oh, like I can sell, I close like 8 out of 10 or whatever. But then when I find out, like they're only dealing with word of mouth and referrals, it's like, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. When you're running paid aggressive marketing campaigns, you're tapping into and effectively trying to tap into an audience group that does not know who you are, right? Which you need to tap into that audience group, and you need to know how to convert that audience group. And once you get very good at converting that audience group, sky's the limit. Sky is the limit, and you will have a predictable acquisition system for basically as long as you decide to stay in business, right? But you can actually close the deal. It's the biggest difference maker, right? We can and we tell this to our clients too, we can create the best ads, we can set up the best funnels, we can send you 1 million appointments, right? But if you don't close them and you can't close them, like I said, you're gonna have a really tough time. And that's normally a very overlooked area that you actually do have to put in a little bit of time and effort into actually getting good at sales. So, I mean, there's a ton of free stuff on YouTube. I've made videos on this channel, sales-centric videos. So, I mean, go ahead and check them out. There's a ton of good stuff in there. But if you can't close deals, it's really hard. It's really hard to scale campaigns, right? Because you're not going to be getting the ROI on the back end. You're not going to be seeing the ROAS that you should be as if you were, decent or good at sales, right? So the ultimate metric that it comes down to is your ROAS. It is going to be your return on ad spend. That's really what you want to look at. When you put $1 into the machine, how much are you getting out on the back end? And for context, the machine being the campaigns and the ads that you're running or whatever, the funnels you're running. How much do I have to put in, and then how much do I get out on the other end? So if I put in $1, do I get back $6, $7, $8, $9, $10? Put in $1, get back, I don't know, $20. That's a little absurd, but just so you understand the point, and maybe not realistic. Although we have had a lot of clients that have gotten very stupid, really stupid ROIs and returns on ad spend as high as 50, 60, but those results are not typical. That is not typical. It really comes down to the sales skill of the business owner, the sales team who we're working with or whatever. But we've seen some pretty crazy return on ad spends. But that's how you scale it. So you can just keep shoveling more money into the machine and keep trying to hit a colder audience so you can convert that colder audience. That's where companies seriously will start to scale. So if you think you're good at sales, or maybe you don't know if you're good at sales or not, you'll find out pretty quickly once you start running paid ad campaigns. But again, it's like anything. You put a little bit of time and effort into it. Normally in the beginning, like there's a lot that you can do. Like we give our clients like a ton of assets and really in-depth sales training if we have to and if we feel like it's necessary, or definitely if it's something we feel like is bottlenecking the growth of the campaign. We will be right there with you to help you dial that in, review appointments with you, make sure that you're doing everything that you can and everything that we can do to get deals closed efficiently. But that's like the biggest one, is if you can't sell, like I said, you're gonna have a tough time. But so you got to get good at sales. Like I said, there's a handful of different videos on our channel about sales stuff. So I highly encourage that you go and check those out. So those are just lessons, like a handful of lessons that we've learned on the front line. And again, like I feel like I could keep talking here. I know this is a bit of a longer video, but there is so much that I could get into. I mean, we've spent, like I said, we've spent millions. We're managing millions in ad spend. So we're constantly learning, and there's just so many more things that I could have gotten into on this video, but I feel like those that I went over are the core components and the core lessons that I think will go a long way when implemented correctly and before you start running paid ads or building out that digital acquisition system yourself, or working with a company like us, or whatever it is. But I hope this video helped. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button down below, hit the subscribe button. There's a little bell icon there too. You'll see every time that we upload a new video like this to the channel. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.